helps to build a culture of cohesiveness, productivity, agile in such times of crisis. So I'm going to request one by one my colleagues who are here, who are HR leaders, and Rahul has already introduced them. So please share your thoughts, and I would like to request Guru Raj to begin with his thoughts. Then I'll come to each one of you with my questions and also audience questions. Over to you, Guru Raj.
Uh, Thank you, Rona. Thank you so much, and thank Digital HR for bringing all of us together. Uh, what we have seen, I think this is a very apt, session to discuss digital outreach. What COVID has done to all of us is the earlier pre-COVID scenario only projected 15 to 30% of gig work, right? So COVID being the black swan it was, enabled and turned around that entire table, and it made each employee into a virtual office, right? Today, if we look at it, those who continue to operate, continue to work, have each of their homes converted into virtual offices, and work is being carried out. If we just go back and reflect on C.K. Prahalad, the management don, uh, who wrote in 2008 that the world would witness n equals 1 and r equals g, just to break it and make it easier for you, where he said n is that individual employee who would contribute, and resources are representing a global outlook. So we are currently experiencing that in full force. So how does digital outreach of our organizational capability reach to that one individual, bring about that empathy, trust, the whole environment that one could experience in an office setup, to be able to bring it to each of their homes and still be able to bond, bind, and also contribute to the overall organization's focus and successes. So this is what has transformed, and as HR, it is primarily very important for us to be able to connect. So this has been enabled by the employment and deployment of the tools that are available. The digital tools, so to say, has helped us cope up and bridge that gap and drive home authenticity, drive home that trustworthiness, and drive home that ability to reach, connect, and also influence our workforces to be able to get aligned and see the larger picture. Without the digital structure, digital platforms, I don't think it would have been possible. And that has, what was a want earlier is now a need, a necessity, without which one cannot at least imagine some aspects of businesses, verticals in terms of ITES working about. Traditional industries, so to say, still can manage in a physical structure, but digital employment here in the ITES scenario is completely now driven and value created by a digital platforms. I think I'll end that my bit on that, Rona.
Totally agree, Guru Raj. Nothing tests human and business more than the unprecedented crisis. So I have first questions for Guru Raj, and you mentioned about innovation. So I would like to reflect upon that and ask you a very simple question: that we had developed significant course of action to manage VUCA, right? So VUCA world is something which we had been managing with the advent of new technology, where we're talking about AI, ML, AR, VR all the time. So how innovation played a role in this journey in an organization? So would you like to throw some more light on that?
Absolutely, Rona. Fantastic, contextual question. When we looked at the current situation and how we transform from a previous COVID state to the current state and what holds for the future, innovation, which was forced, is pretty visible. It underlines the entire gamut of transformation that has taken place. Why I say it is forced, it is because it was typically a black swan event with a heads up of 1 month where the infection broke out in Wuhan in China. So businesses had to literally reinvent the way we did businesses, employees, how they worked and what they worked on, and what was enabled. Couple of things stood out for us as a group. What we did was how do you sustain the current scenario and extend it into a future where this possibility of continuance might exist until a vaccine is found, or it might extend beyond that. So as a business house, we deal with a lot of public and non-public information. So at least for the public information, the information security protocols that were demanded by the clients were not very stringent. As Anil also put out, that there is a lot of information security that is governed with the data that we have. So we went back to the clients and we said, how do we sustain this for a certain future so that we tackle together and also deliver on excellence that we have promised by also working from home. So we went back to clients, each client after client, we are a third party provider, and client after client, we negotiated the business contracts, and we have now a solid tangible view of a future where we are sure of how we continue in a present state and extend the digital outreach. Now, when we say digital outreach, again, the main theme is to enable that human aspect, human element, human touch to the employees one-to-one, because they are now far and spread and also demand the same kind of attention, governance, outreach, the human elements of it to be able to present it. So we conceived our programs in HR to be able to go reach out to them, showcase what we are doing, and also make them as a partner in the business of change and how they are at the center of it. All these while where we were working in offices, the employer drove the controls and the governance mechanism. Now it is the demand of the employee who will put up that infrastructure, right from home. So it's a partnership truly that is transforming the landscape, where the employee and the employer will work in hand to put up a structure where the client is comfortable and they partner equally. So in a sense, it is employees, associates, the investors, and also the society at large that is going to benefit from the entire outreach. And this entire thing will be enabled with a digital thread underlining very strongly. And what we choose, how we choose, and how we deliver that will redefine in the days to come. And I'm sure that is going to bring a lot of excitement to us as HR folks to be able to play a center stage, because now the human element is right at the center.
Well said, Guru Raj. And I remember we did talk about how you are coping with your Kolkata region,
Yes.
on AMF, and I have a question on that for you. So, but I would also reflect upon what you just mentioned about human touch, ensuring one-on-one conversation, and engaging people. Thank you for sharing your, total engagement, total, scenario, and how you're coping and how you are progressing. I think brilliant. So I'll come back to you with more questions. So Ninad Dani has asked a question, and Guru Raj, I will request you to take it. How should the new entrepreneurs and post-COVID startups and business should approach resource management and CRMs?
I think excellent question. Resource management, at the heart of it, is not to manage but to delight. How do we produce delight with what we have? I think there again I want to stress upon, be it an entrepreneur, be it a well-established organization, the connect, the trust, the authenticity of engagement defines what we do and how successful we are. So tool is just a medium through which we approach. From an entrepreneurial perspective, yes, the ratio of employee to the employer and the tools are less compared to a large established organization. So the connect has to be much better. Connect has to be much more solid in terms of sustaining a resilient workforce to be able to drive through the challenges in establishing themselves and journeying ahead. Though it appears all the soft factors, I would like to quote Tom Peters, the Red Bull of management here, who says soft is hard, hard is soft. I think it cannot be more truer now than at any point of time. So be it any setting that you are in, it is the communication that connects and binds and journeys ahead. So once we get that right at a leadership level, be it an entrepreneur or otherwise, the journeys will surely be momentous. I hope I answered his question.
Definitely. And I closely work, yeah, thank you, Guru Raj. And I closely work with startups and we completely agree that their resilience is important. So Mamta is asking Gururaj that when we are talking about digital employee engagement, my question is how to manage the emotions of the employees. Very, very, interesting one. We are all HR people, so I think that's very close to our heart. So, Guru Raj, your response.
Yeah, I think simply put, emotions are managed well with the ears rather than the mouth. So when we listen to them, I think when we share our ears, our hearts automatically connect. Most emotional outbursts needs an ear, empathetic ear. So I think when we practice that truly, we do manage. But however, emotional intelligence is one awareness that as organizations need to consciously drive at organizations, because each individual is diverse, cognitively different. Each individual comes with their own set of aspirations and capabilities. To be able to marry that, align that to a larger context and vision, it needs a lot of work. Soft skills is a primary mandate in especially a virtual world, which we are going to witness more and more. Therefore, managing emotional intelligence and creating an awareness. Yes, if I get angry, I know that I get angry in these circumstances. That awareness has to be kindled and molded, so to say. So programs which cater to these in terms of learning definitely helps the employee understand how emotional scenario needs to be tackled. But as I say, the underlying factor is more ears and less of talk.
Ashraf Kazi has questioned a very interesting one again for HR. Considering majority aspects of HR delivery going digital now, is there an opportunity of altogether new roles getting defined in HR teams? If yes, then which key HR skills are this or it could be? So if you can respond on the same line.
Oh yes, definitely the roles are going to be redefined, because now we have one HR. If you go by traditional ratio to employee ratio to HR service roles, it used to be 1 is to 50, 1 is to 75, 1 is to 100. Now we have 1 is to X number of employees at their own places. So roles are going to be multiplied, and to be able to do that, you need a digital enablement for sure. What was fancy earlier is a necessity now. I reiterate that point. What roles specifically will get redefined is the ability to socialize well in a virtual environment and be able to be authentically deliver value to the employee, connect. Now, what was great place to work now is redefined or will get redefined as great way to work. Now that way is going to be defined by the HR ability to construct, help innovate, help fulfill the aspirations of end employee. Those end goals pretty much would remain the same, but how we do it on a virtual environment is what is going to get redefined. There are a couple of examples I want to quote. Earlier we used to have a traditional approach to recruitment, where when we had to assess talent, evaluate them, go through the interview rounds and stuff. But today you find in 11 minutes playing 12 games, you could end to end assess a person's capability, right? So that's the kind of gamification that the digital world has enabled. So I think roles pretty much would be one of understanding human endeavor and be able to expand that, help amplify that, and influence your employees to be able to do better, faster, deliver value, find opportunities, help them in their journeys. That is what the HR role should typically be, and that is what it is going to be. The traditional service roles, traditional operational roles would pretty much be taken by the digital enablement and the tools that are available and getting designed as we speak in their capability bettering each day. What will remain and what will amplify is our ability to influence, generate value, walk hand in hand, and attain those goals individually. So it's no more under one roof. That reality is definitely going to be hitting us hard pretty soon.